Well, hey guys, it's MIGardener, and I have a really cool, exciting episode for you guys today. So, the plants behind me, they belong to my other channel, so if you haven't checked it out yet, really quick, do me a favor and check it out. I think you're going to really like it. But actually, what this episode is about today applies to pretty much anyone that will grow indoors. Now, the biggest problem that we have isn't space, isn't lighting, and it isn't deer and rabbits. It's actually the smallest thing you could possibly imagine, and it's actually called a fungus gnat. Yes, those of you who garden know exactly what I mean. The fungus gnat, the dreaded fungus gnat. It'll fly around that little black dust particle almost. It's just so small. But what it does is it'll actually lay eggs in your soil, and then the little larvae that you need a microscope to see will actually eat the roots, the fine little roots coming off of your seedlings. And they will absolutely kill all of your seedlings. You'll have terrible germination rate because you'll wonder, why are my seeds sprouting? Well, actually they did sprout, but because they couldn't receive any water and nutrients, the seed couldn't get past that initial sprouting stage because the plant's roots were eaten. And that is just a huge problem for a lot of people. And a lot of people never think they even have them, but they are around, trust me. If you spend enough time around your plants, you'll see them every once in a while floating around. I luckily don't have that many. I've seen a couple, but going into the colder winter seasons, you're going to start seeing them a lot more. And that becomes a huge issue, especially when you start bringing in the amount of plants that I have. 1, 2 house plants, you might be kind of fine. But if you start bringing in a whole lot of plants, it kind of makes a little zone where the fungus gnats will say, wow, there's a lot of rich organic material there. Hey guys, come on over, let's have a party over at Luke's place. And then soon enough, you have just a swarm of them. And what I have behind me isn't even probably a quarter of what I'm going to have when I'm actually done. So I'm going to have a ton of organic material. And that's actually their prime food source, is organic material. What I'm going to show you guys today is actually a really quick, super easy way to get rid of your fungus gnats without any chemicals, without any harmful pesticides, anything like that. And it's also extremely, extremely cheap. Now I have 2 ways to do it. Both of them, they're rather messy, but they are so simple that it takes maybe a couple minutes to do, and you can get you can get rid of pretty much all of your fungus gnats in one fell swoop. Granted, this does not take care of the larvae. I repeat, this does not take care of the larvae in the soil. So if you've already had them, you're going to want to leave your traps out a little bit longer, even if you don't see fungus gnats sticking to the paper now. I guess I just gave it away right there. What we're making today is fungus gnat paper, and it's similar to what you get in the store called fly tape. Those really long, kind of unsightly, disgusting fly traps. Yes, those things I don't like those. Not only are they expensive, but they get in your way, they're really unsightly. And so I'm going to teach you guys how to make a really quick, easy alternative to those fly tapes. Now, the one material you're going to need for the first method is just some no wrinkle rubber cement. And this is, it's my second alternative. It's not my favorite, but I've actually had a lot of success with this. When you put it on your paper, it's kind of sticky, it's messy, whatever, but when it dries, it's like a tacky rubber. And a lot of people overlook this, but the flies are not that strong. When they land on something, all you need is just a little bit of tack, and they're stuck. And when they're stuck, they die quick when they're away from their food source. So first thing is you're going to need either yellow or orange. I found both colors work. Yellow works great, but for this, I'm going to use the rubber cement on a couple orange note cards. I'm going to show you how to do that. And then the second alternative, which is actually my favorite, the easiest method, is actually what you're going to need is a stick or your finger to spread it, or a knife, some petroleum jelly, pure petroleum jelly, and I'm going to use yellow note cards. This is just some yellow construction paper, or you can use a Post-it note. Really, any type of yellow or orange substance will work great. And obviously you're going to need scissors because I had to cut the paper. But that's really all you need. So I'm going to actually bring you guys in close and show you how to apply it so that you can get these fly traps up and catch your fungus gnats so they don't become a problem. Alright, so the first one I'm going to do is with the petroleum jelly. Like I said, it's my favorite way to catch these things. It's just so easy. Now, some people say that they suggest adding some olive oil or some just vegetable oil on top of the cards, and the fungus gnats will get stuck in it. I don't like that because if you want to like tape it to, let's say you want to post it up like this, and then you take a stick like this, you can stick it in the soil, and actually they'll go flying around and get stuck to it. My method is I actually set it flat on the soil surface, and then when they go flying down towards the soil, they usually get stuck on it. And but what I'm getting to is the fact that if you want to post it vertically, you can't, because the oil will never stick to it. It'll just run right off and then get in your soil, and then it becomes really, really messy. So what you're just going to do is you're just going to take your card here and then your petroleum jelly, and you're just going to stick your spreading stick in there. I just chose a really cheap plant marker actually, and you're just going to spread this. Spread it pretty liberally. You don't want to go easy on it because it will evaporate. It will dry up a little bit, and you want to make sure there's enough of a coating that it stays on there for a while. The reason why you want to use yellow or orange paper is because they're actually attracted to those colors. All right, so that's done. It's, as you can see, it's pretty shiny. You want quite a bit of it on there, and then you're just gonna set it on the soil. I'm gonna get a couple more of these finished, and then I'm just gonna show you kind of how I place them. It's pretty self-explanatory. Alright, now the next method is actually the second method, the method that I typically don't really like because this does have a lot of fumes in it, and it does have some chemicals in the air that aren't really the best to breathe. But as far as another cheap method of something that you'd have around the house, I like to just give alternative methods because not everybody has petroleum jelly. I mean, if you have petroleum jelly, great, use that. If you have rubber cement, I'm telling you that I've used this and it works just the same way. So what you're just going to do is you're just going to want to take the little paintbrushy thing they give you here and try not to make an absolute mess, but just apply it, just liberally apply it. You're not going all arts and crafts here, and just pretend like you're a kid in elementary school that has no concept of amounts here, and just load it on, because we all need to be a kid sometimes in life, and I like it. I like being a kid sometimes. Just get messy with it and lather it on there. Okay, and so as you can see, it's very, very coated, and that's what you want, because when it dries, it's going to make a tacky coating, and that actually is going to work just great. Now, again, make sure you use some ventilation because this is really rather fumy, and I should be in a ventilated area because it's not the best to be breathing, but it's safe. Otherwise, they wouldn't they wouldn't be selling this stuff. However, it does say do not breathe fumes, as it says right on the bottle. But hey, it's all good. It works. Alright, so I'm going to show you guys how to place this stuff in the soil to get the optimal amount of flies onto your fly tape. I set this down here, not even maybe 10-15 seconds later, and what I'm about to show you actually just happened. I don't know if you can see that right there, but I actually set this one down, and I went to look back, and all of a sudden I saw there was already a fly stuck to the coating, and it's still wet. It hasn't even gotten a chance to dry yet. So yeah, but what I'm about to show you is actually how you can place your stuff to get the optimal amount of flies stuck to your paper here. So this is one that I've already prepared. It's already dry, and as you can see, that is completely dry, but it's tacky. It's very tacky. If I press down, it's tacky. It's gonna catch a fly, and so what you want to do is you want to cover the most surface area possible without making it kind of seem unsightly. So what I've done here is I've sprawled it in between two plants, because sometimes they go for one plant, sometimes they go for another. So what I've done is I've just kind of
taken it and divided it in two and kind of put it across most plants. See over here, I put it down by the base of the plant because the fruit flies and the fungus gnats, they don't like to go near a whole lot of foliage. They don't go for the foliage unless there's flowers. But if you have soil exposed, trust me, they'll be down there. So what I do is I just set it down right by the base of all the plants. That's going to be optimal because you won't see them a whole lot around here, but you will see them right around the stem a lot, right where the roots are having a better chance of being exposed. And I'm going to set one up over there. I'm going to set one up right down there. And then also another thing is if you have a sprouting room where you're going to have a ton of seedlings, this is my grow box for all my seedlings. And I'm going to have to set up a couple in here because when stuff starts sprouting, this is going to be the prime place. They're going to go for the fresh sprouts rather than the already mature sprouts. And that's another thing that I was going to tell you guys really quick is that if you only have a certain amount of fly tape prepared, put it near the younger plants because the younger plants are, number one, the most vulnerable because they have the fewer amounts of roots. The bigger plants are going to have way more roots, so even if they lose a couple to fungus gnats, it's not going to be detrimental. Whereas these ones, when they first sprout, they're the most vulnerable, so I'm actually going to set up probably about 3 or 4 on the top here and 3 or 4 on the bottom there. Last tip I have for you guys today is, as you see here in these trays, there is some water settling. Now, I typically like to water from underneath, and that poses a problem for me, but not for everybody. But if you have any of those trays similar to this, see where you can keep water from running onto the floor, this stores water. Fungus gnats need moisture because just like everything else, they need to drink. They're going to go towards a source of moisture as well. And as you can see here, this is a prime example of what's going to attract fungus gnats. Now normally this would just evaporate or whatever, but I have a pretty high humidity in this room, so it has a harder time evaporating, so it sets in these trays for a while. And that's a big attractant of fungus gnats. So what I might do is actually place one right here. And likewise, if you have a tray that catches water that runs onto the ground, I would suggest placing it, right around here where they'll be flying around the water as well. Alright, so I thank you guys for coming along with me today. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this episode. I really hope you guys apply it to your indoor grow rooms or if you're sprouting in the springtime, because it really is a problem and it really is kind of discouraging when you start to get these problems and you don't really know where to turn to get rid of them. So hopefully you guys learned something, and this is Emma Gardner reminding you guys to grow big or go home. I'll catch you guys later. See ya. Bye.